lot of times with the alarm system, they need a POTS line. So would we have to still continue to keep a POTS line for the alarm system?
So as far as I know, and I think we've checked on this, your alarm system, current today UL listing for alarms, security, and commercial fire is a cell communicator. So
Okay.
they've got that off of copper all. Yeah,
Very good.
and that's part of what we would do too.
Okay.
When we
That's
come
all to
into
make
a
sure.
business. Roscommon County, Oscoda County, and Misaki County are all clients of mine from top to bottom. Every department, sheriff, ground well monitoring, the SCADA systems, and we've been through the ringer with analog, IP to analog conversion, and we don't do that anymore. So we find the solution, whether it's cell communicator or UMA air dial, but POTS lines will be done and gone. Nothing will be delivered into this building over copper when we're done.
Okay. And then I don't think we have a fire system that would require anything like that. We're department. We don't have here. We're not sprinklers or anything here, so no fire alarm. So, all right, that's all I was worried about. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Jeff, I just have one question. You're right. Either RCH is, Dick's retiring, RCH is no longer in business. Are you taking over his business? We don't have to have a termination of contract to just kind of move over?
Yeah, so you're not under any kind of contract with Dick, but Carrie can clarify that as well with an email, so you can print it and put it in the file just as a
Gotcha.
CYA.
Yeah.
But no, we bought the business. His vehicle is sitting in our pole barn right now, so
Gotcha.
he'll be back to Michigan, I think, in April, and he wants to coach Little League, and he doesn't want to, no phone systems, no camera systems, no structured cabling. I think he's...
And one of the agenda additions was going to be to put this proposal under new business that we can vote on it then, so just so everybody's aware.
All right. Any other questions? Jeff, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for the opportunity.
You
Thank
are
you.
welcome. All right. At this time, we will look for an agenda review, please.
Couple items. First thing, under the consent agenda A, we just need to remove and special. There wasn't a special meeting, so there's no special meeting minutes. What I want to do is take item J, which is the 5-year contract with Pitney Bowes. I didn't realize it was already on the agenda under D, so I'm just going to move J up to D because there's more information on line J. Then we'll replace J with approval of an expenditure in the amount of $2,055 to ES&S for our service contract for all of our election equipment. Under new business, 11A, the paper I gave you, I said 11A changed 1006 LLC to 7699 LLC. That actually is item B on the agenda. They have 2 LLCs, and when they first applied with us, they just decided it was best through their legal counsel to use the other LLC. So everything else is the same. We have all the paperwork. Everything is taken care of. We're just changing the LLC name. Then we're going to add F, which is automatic aid agreement between the City of Bay City and Bangor Township. And then item G under new business, the phone proposal discussion.
Anything else?
I think that's
Very good. At this point, I will open the floor up for public input on any agenda items. This is where we will listen to the public and talk about anything on our agenda. We do have another session later in the meeting where we can talk about anything that you would like. So I will open the floor up for public input on agenda items only. Public input going once. Public input going twice. 3 times. We will close public input on agenda items, and I'll ask for an agenda approval, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Is there any discussion? All in favor with an aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed with a nay. That is approved. We'll now look for a consent agenda approval.
motion to approve the consent agenda as amended. Support.
Is there any discussion? All in favor with an aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed with a nay. That is approved. Moving on, I do not have an engineering report for this evening, so we will move on to pending business. Let us move on to the Chief's report. Chief Lohner, the floor is yours, sir.
you. I'll make it short and sweet. The month of January, we responded to 221 calls, which brings our year-to-date total to 221. And we were 2 calls above the same reporting period in 2023. We also had 25 overlapping incidents, which means we had more than one call going on at the same time, which accounted for about 27.5% of the calls. EMS, again, our biggest customer. Other than that, Captain Tennant completed a rope rescue operations training with MUSAR and MAVIS units, and we have 2 cadets that are progressing very well in the Fire Academy. We have also signed the contract with Axis and Irons to purchase the mini pumper, which will replace our spare engine 6.2 and our rescue 6. And we expect to have delivery sometime in May or June. And as promised, short and sweet.
Is there any questions? Chief Bluner, thank you, sir. All right, moving on, some committee and commission reports. So to start out with the Zoning Board of Appeals, Trustee LaPlante.
Yeah, we had our meeting on January 16th, and that's the one where we elect our officers. Sandy Kolakowski will remain chair, and Gina Indeshano will remain as vice chair. We had 2 petitions on, or 4 actually, but the first 2, one was on property 31970 East Fisher. This was a corner lot that they needed to put a new house on, and they needed to put on a house that would, you know, conform with square footage. They needed a couple feet on one side, and that was approved. The hardship is 2 front yards. They needed more for the side yard. Next one was on 309 Killarney Beach, which, you know, we kind of run these a lot of times. Older house being replaced. They want to, of course, put as much as they can on the house. They want to go towards the water. The 2 houses next to it, we are going to allow him actually a 30-foot variance to go up within the line of sight to the other houses. There's always, that little area of the beach, there's always people around there that come to the meetings. Everybody was in kind of compliance. So the line of sight, maybe I hate going towards the water in any of these variances, but you know, down there is the line of sight is what we kind of really used their standard, and it was not going to enter the line of sight. So then the last 2 were actually for the township, and that one was approved. And the hardship is those lots only have so much square footage to put any house. The last 2 were actually for the township, and that's for Tim's working on some new signage around here with all the 3 buildings. That's why I took 2 variances, because multiple. These actually have separate addresses. He's going to add some signage, which our signage ordinance is so restrictive we can't put the signs up that we want, which I think those guys are fixing a lot of that. The planning commission guys, that is a lot better, but they're going to put a sign up here for directional. I guess it sounds like a lot of people are in here, oh, I'm coming to do the wedding, but no, it's over there. Or, you know, I'm coming to pay my taxes, and they're walking around the fire station. So there was 2 separate for like 4 signs, and they were both approved. So, and that's all I got.
Thank you for that. Any questions? Very good. Moving on to the Planning Commission, Trustee Taylor.
Thank you. Wednesday, January 24th, we met. We also had the privilege of electing officers. Mark Norton remains the chair, and Bill Schubert remains the vice chair. So we're lucky enough to retain both of those gentlemen who are very good at their job, except for when it comes to signage.
No, they're better.
No, I'm just joking. Also on the agenda was to review the zoning ordinance, Article 21, that covers the small waterfront lot section of Bangor Township, where they divided some lots in the past into 3s. There were some changes in the laws in the state, so we reviewed the ordinance to kind of coordinate with them a little bit better, and that is all we did at that meeting.
Is there any questions? Trustee Taylor, thank you. Thank you. Moving on, DPW Committee, Madam Treasurer.
Nothing to report.
Parks and Recreation, Trustee Cook.
I have nothing to report. Hopefully, we're going to get this year.
There we go. Fire Department Infrastructure Committee, Madam Treasurer.
We met on January 31st just to kind of go over where we were at with wants and needs and what we were going to put into an RFP. We're still working on refining that.
What's up, man?
And potentially getting a couple more fire station tours in under our belt so we know what to look for. So that's what we talked about. And also if we can demo the building, you know, if that's the way we end up going, taking out any asbestos and mold and everything, clearing out, it would be a great training ground for the firefighters to go knock down doors, tear down ceilings and stuff, but we have to make it safe for them first. So potentially look into some grants to remove the hazardous stuff. So working on that. Our next meeting will be February 27th at 4:30.
Any questions? One thing I will give is a statement. We still have received absolutely nothing from the state of Michigan, so that is still their building. It is not ours. So just a point of order on that one.
Where are you meeting? It's election day. Not here, right?
Oh,
Or I'll rephrase that, you can't meet here.
maybe we'll open the conference room. And
Okay.
keep it in there.
Just wanted to make
I
sure.
didn't even think about that. Yeah.
We'll be a little busy.
Yeah, just a little.
Although you can come in.
Yeah, we could come in and hang
Yeah, we're not sequestered anymore, so you
Yeah.
can come in and observe voting and.
No, we'll probably do it in the conference room.
I'm sure that meeting will be posted more than 18 hours in
Yes.
notice, but let the minutes reflect that we will be meeting not in the board.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Thank you. All right, moving on to some board reports. We'll start out with mine. I'll be as brief as possible. Last Wednesday, I had the honor of representing townships at the Chamber of Commerce annual State of the Community meeting. It's kind of nice. It's normally just the city manager and the county executive, so they invited someone to speak on behalf of townships. So that was a nice event. I was able to bring up to them some of the challenges that townships are facing. Good news, new FEMA flood maps have been distributed with an effective date of July the 31st. We have more than 300 properties that will be removed from the special flood hazard area, so this is going to be a huge financial relief for those residents who battle with the high cost of flood insurance, so that's something that's exciting. In September of 23, we approved to enter into an annual agreement with J.E. Johnson for the years 23 and 24 for plumbing and mechanical services. A contract was never signed, and we have since discovered that J.E. Johnson is used more for larger commercial buildings, therefore their pricing is a little bit more reflective for that. So as of this time, our building official would prefer not to enter into a contract with one company and use his discretion on which vendor to choose based upon the job needed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for two motions. The first one is going to be to rescind the September 23, 2023 motion approving entering into an annual contract with J.E. Johnson for 2023-2024 for plumbing and mechanical services, as a contract was never initiated or signed. The second one would be a motion to allow the building official and township executives to use discretion on which plumbing and mechanical services we use based upon that job needed. So I would love to hear anybody make those carefully worded motions.
I'll make a motion to rescind the original motion. You know, I gave it to you, but I didn't write it down. To rescind the September 23rd, 2023 motion approving entering into an annual contract with J.E. Johnson.
Is there any discussion? All in favor with an aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed with a nay. That is approved.
And I'll make a motion to allow the building official and the township executives to use their discretion on which plumbing and mechanical services we use based on the job needed.
I'll support.
Is there any discussion? All in favor with an aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed with a nay. That is also approved. Last Friday, I was in Lansing and I received a legislative update where we heard about some of the ballot initiatives that are coming down. One is with the folks that are looking at changing the siting on the alternative energy law that was passed. There's another one out there that is called Axe My Tax. And these folks are getting signatures right now. Their language was approved, but this is kind of scary. So what this would do is eliminate all personal and property tax. You're not allowed to replace it with another tax, so there'd be no special assessment. So we would receive approximately 28% of what we currently get to property taxes. We would get some money, and that would be used through the sharing of what's called sin tax for taxes on marijuana or liquor and things like that. It also lists essential services. Fire protection and elections are not included as an essential service. So statutorily, we could perform our statutory duty by having elections. We just wouldn't have any money to fund them. So there's a lot more information coming around. This is a very fluid thing. I'll get another update next month and share with you what I find, but just be afraid. It's kind of scary stuff right now.
And it wouldn't replace any of the revenue for the schools.
That is correct. So anything that receives benefits from the taxes collects, schools, mass transit, libraries, all of that would just stop. So scary business. The last thing I have for you is a letter of support for the RAISE grant. I mentioned to you earlier how we're going to be working with the city of Bay City for the State Park Drive reconstruction project. We're just going to continue this farther south. We're going to include Henry. The nice thing with that is we get to have some of the persistent property and disadvantaged census data that we do not have. So I'm sure you looked this over. I would just ask for a motion to be able to sign this.
I'll make a motion to sign and submit the letter of support for the 2024 RAISE grant application.
Is there any discussion? All in favor with an aye, please?
Aye.
Opposed with a nay. That is approved, and that concludes my report unless you have any questions. Very good, thank you. Moving on to the clerk's report. Madam Clerk.
Well, 2 weeks till election. It's been very busy. We've issued 1,956 ballots, and we've had 1,030 returns so far. So that makes me a little nervous because there's still quite a few out there, and there's only 6 weeks left. So we'll see. Early voting starts this Saturday. The community center, 8:30 to 4:30. And the clerk's office will be open next Saturday, February 24th from 8 to 4 for absentee voting. So come in and visit. That's all I have.
Any questions? Very good, thank you. Moving on to the treasurer's report. Madam Treasurer.
Taxes are due tomorrow, so if anybody hasn't paid their taxes, please come see me tomorrow. When I looked this afternoon, I want to say about 1:30-ish, we were 87% collected for the winter and 93% collected overall, which is not too bad. By the end of the month, we usually end up being about 96, 97% collected overall, so we're doing pretty good. I expect tomorrow to be, yesterday and today were very busy. I expect tomorrow to be quite busy as well. And then I have my quarterly report.
Make a motion to approve the quarterly report for ending December 31st, 2023.
Support.
All in favor with an aye, please?
Aye.
Opposed with a nay? Hearing none.
That's it.
Very good, thank you. Moving on to the trustees' report. This month's selection was by Mrs. Potts, so we will start out with Trustee LaPlante.
Thanks. Another report.
Very good. Trustee Taylor.
I would like to thank the board for sponsoring me at the Henry Marsh Institute for 2024. The SVSU sponsors that year-long class, and I will hopefully represent Bangor Township to the best of my ability. Thanks.
Trustee Jaworski.
I do not have any.
Trustee Cook.
I also do not have anything.
All right. And let us move on to new business with some budget adjustments.
Make a motion to approve the budget adjustments as presented.
Support.
Is there any discussion?
I should clarify there are 2 of them are for 2024, but the rest of them are for 23, just so everybody knows.
Gotcha. With the fact that we are transferring some money around, Ms. Sharon, may we roll call those, please?
Bublitz?
Yes.
Jaworski?
Yes.
Taylor?
Aye.
LaPlante?
Yes.
Cook? Yes. Wardensky?
Yes.
Crowley?
Aye. All right, moving on, we'll be looking for the approval for 3 Class C grow permits for 7699 LLC at 4451 and 4471 Ace Commercial Court.
Make a motion to approve 3 Class C grow permits for 7699 LLC at 4451 and 4471 East Commercial Court as described on their application, with approval becoming effective upon any applicable real estate closing and or licensure from the state.
I'll support and thank you for having that language with
Yeah,
you.
I can keep it in my folder always.
We have a motion and we have support. Is there any discussion? All in favor with an aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed with a nay. That is approved. We'll now move on to C, which is preliminary road estimates. I use the word preliminary because how this is set up is kind of hooky. We have to give an approval to the road commission to send these out to bid, where it will be posted, and then hopefully we're going to find a contractor that comes in well under contract or estimates. So what you have here is the estimate from the Bay County Road Commission. So your approval here will allow us to send this out to bid. And then at a later date, we'll ask you to approve what that bid is. So it's kind of backwards, but that's how we need to do it.
I tallied all of them before and I forgot to write it down. Do you have a tally of the?
As a matter of fact, we do.
Okay.
So based upon engineer estimate, you would be looking at, let me double check. 400, no, I'm sorry, that is not it. I'm going to do it right now. Because we switched the road.
I edited it up.
I'm sorry, 403-21349, is that what you got?
403-213-64.
I'll take you 64.
So we're just approving to go out for bid
Correct.
Yeah.
for these attached roads. We're not approving a dollar.
Knowing that it could be right around there.
It could be right
Correct.
on there. But yeah, I just wanted to have that overall.
All right, so I'll make a motion to go out for bid to get costs for Gulfside Drive, Lewis Drive, Pine Road, Sherry Court, and State Street Road.
I'll support.
Is there any discussion? Only discussion that I will have in here is we wanted to repave East and West Birch to coincide with the new water line that went through there. But that road is so destroyed, it needs to be totally ripped up and rebuilt, so that'll be a lot more expensive. The other one that we wanted to do was Shrestha, but Shrestha alone was $202,000. So we'll take another swing at that next year. We'll see how much money we have to work with and hopefully get something. So any other questions or discussions? All right, very good. Hearing none, Ms. Sharon, may we roll call vote this, please?
Taylor?
Aye.
LaPlante?
Yes.
Cook? Yes. Wardensky?
Yes.
Bublitz?
Yes.
Jaworski?
Yes.
Crowley?
Aye. All right, moving on, we have our Employee Assistance Program, and this is an approval for a policy for township administrative staff and specialized program for the fire department.
This is, last month I handed out the large packet of information for the EAP insurance for the employees. Basically, we have to purchase a plan for the whole entire, all the employees. So that is $5,000 annually. To add on a specialized plan for first responders, which is primarily what our goal was, not to say that other people can use it as well, but the specialized plan for the first responders, the problem that you run into is a lot of these EAP plans